Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. There are some verses that have a way of slowing you down, and this is one of them. We live in a world that celebrates hustle, work harder, stay busier, sleep less, produce more. And while there's certainly nothing wrong with honest work, this verse reminds us of something we can easily forget. Our efforts, by themselves, are never enough. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Notice that the verse doesn't criticize the builders. They're working, they're putting in the effort, doing what builders are supposed to do. The problem isn't that they're working. The problem is trying to build something apart from God. That's a lesson that reaches far beyond constructing a house. It applies to raising a family, building a marriage, running a business, serving in the body of believers, even shaping our own character. We can pour ourselves into all kinds of worthwhile things, but if we're trying to accomplish them without depending on the Lord, eventually we'll discover how limited our own strength really is. Then the verse shifts to another picture. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. Again, the watchman isn't doing anything wrong. He's staying awake, paying attention, and watching for danger. That's his responsibility. But ultimately, the city's safety doesn't rest on one pair of human eyes. It rests in God's hands. There's an important balance here. Scripture never tells us to be lazy. The builders still build, the watchmen still watch. Believers are called to be faithful in the work God has given them. But we're also called to remember that success doesn't ultimately come from our effort alone. God, the Most High, is the one who gives the increase. A bicycle ride reminds me of that every now and then. I can make sure the tires are properly inflated, I can check the brakes, I can oil the chain. I can do everything I know to prepare for the ride. But there are still things completely outside of my control. The weather, the wind, the road conditions, unexpected obstacles. Preparation matters. But so does recognizing that I'm not in control of everything. Life works much the same way. God calls us to be responsible, to work hard, to plan wisely, to be good stewards of what He's entrusted to us. But He never asks us to carry the weight of believing everything depends entirely on us. Honestly, that's a burden we were never designed to carry. Maybe that's why so many people are exhausted. Not because they're working, but because they're trying to play a role that belongs to God alone. They're trying to control every outcome, every conversation, every future possibility, every what if. That's a heavy way to live. Psalm 127 gently reminds us to put things back into their proper order. Do your part, absolutely. Build, watch, work, serve. Love your family well. Be faithful with today's responsibilities. But don't confuse faithfulness with control. Only God, the Most High, can truly establish what lasts. So as you go through today, maybe take a moment to think about whatever you're trying to build right now. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your career, maybe it's a friendship, or maybe it's simply becoming more like Yeshua, the Messiah. Whatever it is, invite God into the center of it. Don't ask Him to merely bless your plans. Ask Him to shape them. Because anything built on His wisdom will stand far longer than anything built on your own understanding. At the end of the day, that's the encouragement of this verse. You don't have to carry the entire weight of the building project by yourself. The Lord never intended you to. He simply asks you to be faithful while trusting Him to do only what He can do. Thank you for joining me here this morning, my friends and family, and anyone else who might be riding along and listening. I hope to see you here again tomorrow morning, and until then, Abba willing, Shalom, Shalom.